know that the world is scared of her until this year.
Parents of transgender children in Texas are speaking out after Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton used the words child abuse in a new directive to have transgender health procedures investigated by Child Protective Services. How local officials are responding.
Plus, new developments on the Ukraine crisis. U.S. sanctions in Russia starting to have an effect, but will it be enough? And there have been worldwide protests on Russia as they zero in on Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. We have the latest from the war-torn country in your morning headlines.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Friday. It is February 25th. It is now just before 5 p.m. in Ukraine, and it's been a day full of continued attacks by Russian forces.
And as we look live at Ukraine, we can tell you there are multiple reports that the Russian military has now pushed to the edge of the capital of Kyiv. U.S. intelligence agencies believe the capital could fall this weekend amid intense urban warfare. There are also new reports this morning the Russians have agreed to meet Ukrainian negotiators in Belarus to discuss an arrangement to end the conflict overnight. Ukraine's president offered the Kremlin a deal not to align with groups like NATO. The Russian invasion threw world markets into turmoil yesterday, including U.S. markets. And right here, you're looking at the stocks. Dow looks like it's, I think it's down, actually up 33,000 points at this point.
Let's go outside with live cam back here at home. Focus on our weather for the Friday and the upcoming weekend. Justin, what is the latest thinking?
Well, if you like cloud cover and cold temperatures, we're going to get another couple days of that. The sun comes back out Sunday, so if you're one of the folks hoping for some sun, we'll get it for you Sunday afternoon. Until then, we're still stuck in the cold weather here. 34 degrees at the airport right now, 27 Rock Springs, 39 in Del Rio. It is 40 currently down there in Cotulla, and we're not going to see a big warm up today due to the cloud cover, and we have some sprinkles out there, a few light showers. 39 degrees, the forecast high. 41 coming up tomorrow. A little better chance for some showers, and then there's that clearing, finally, that we're talking about there on Sunday. So let's look at the radar real quick, and you can see everything we have here is pretty light. A lot of this is not even reaching the ground because we had some drier air work in at the surface. Still, though, if you're up around LaGrange, that's an area where there could be some light drizzle, maybe even some very, very light freezing drizzle. But so far, it's basically just been a few sprinkles here around San Antonio. You can see the cloud cover. Del Rio has cleared out for now. 39 degrees. Clouds will shift back in this afternoon here in San Antonio. It is cloudy. 34, 37 Hondo, 31 right now in Kerrville. Pollen count is in. Man, this is great news. It's just mold and it's low. That's it. That's all we have today. Forecast. Lots of clouds, drizzle, sprinkles. Temperatures up around 39 this afternoon. Northerly winds 10 to 20. That'll put wind chills in the 20s. We do have that warm up on the way. We look at that. We also look at our next rain chance coming up next week. We'll more on that in just a bit. But let's go over to Steven now. How are things looking on the roadways this morning, sir?
It's actually been a great morning, Justin. Let's just get one last look at how things are shaping up on TransGuide I-10 at Frio. You can see no delays, just some light traffic throughout a lot of these shots. Even morning rush hour, there wasn't really a whole lot of problems, just normal congestion. But be on the lookout. There were a few stalls reported here off US 90 eastbound at Loop 410. Drive over this way does show one off 281 northbound. Pardon me, that should say southbound right at Grayson Street. Let's take a drive over here because stalls have been that problem throughout the morning. 35 northbound at Eisenhower Road. Bird's eye view of the map at 9:01 in the morning. It's just looking so good out there on the roads. I'm looking forward to that sunny weather, but right now we're looking forward to some nice and clear roadways. 410 at Jackson Keller. You can see light traffic right there. Of course, we're going to watch these roads throughout the morning, but make sure that you drive safe as you head off into the weekend. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Let's look at today's 9 at 9. Russia has pressed its invasion to the outskirts of the capital of Kyiv. At least 137 Ukrainians have died so far, and Russia has lost upwards of 450 military personnel. Today, President Joe Biden is expected to meet with NATO in what the White House is describing as an extraordinary virtual summit.
President Biden has made his decision for his first nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court. The justice will replace Justice Stephen Breyer, who is retiring. The president expected to reveal his decision as early as today.
The Biden administration is significantly loosening mask-wearing guidelines. Today, the CDC is expected to announce new guidelines that eliminates masks for most Americans indoors. The new policy comes as the Biden administration moves into the endemic phase.
The head of Russia's space agency says U.S. sanctions in response to Russia's attack on Ukraine could destroy cooperation on the International Space Station. There are currently 4 NASA astronauts, 2 Russian cosmonauts, and 1 European astronaut on the ISS.
MASH film star and Oscar nominee Sally Kellerman has died. Kellerman's son told The Hollywood Reporter she died Thursday morning after a battle with dementia. Kellerman's acting career spanned more than 6 decades. She was 84 years old.
Citigroup says it will eliminate all overdraft returned items.
Russia has pressed its invasion to the outskirts of the capital of Kyiv. At least 137 Ukrainians have died so far, and Russia has lost upwards of 450 military personnel. Today, President Joe Biden is expected to meet with NATO in what the White House is describing as an extraordinary virtual summit.
President Biden has made his decision for his first nomination to the U.S. Supreme Court. The justice will replace Justice Stephen Breyer, who is retiring. The president expected to reveal his decision as early as today.
The Biden administration is significantly loosening mask-wearing guidelines. Today, the CDC is expected to announce new guidelines that eliminates masks for most Americans indoors. The new policy comes as the Biden administration moves into the endemic phase.
The head of Russia's space agency says U.S. sanctions in response to Russia's attack on Ukraine could destroy cooperation on the International Space Station. There are currently 4 NASA astronauts, 2 Russian cosmonauts, and 1 European astronaut on the ISS.
MASH film star and Oscar nominee Sally Kellerman has died. Kellerman's son told The Hollywood Reporter she died Thursday morning after a battle with dementia. Kellerman's acting career spanned more than 6 decades. She was 84 years old.
Citigroup says it will eliminate all overdraft, returned item, and overdraft protection fees by this summer. Customers can instead bring their balance above zero by setting up free automatic transfers from savings accounts or access a line of credit. For other customers who do not have those options, the bank will reject charges at ATMs and shops. Bank of America has already said it will stop charging NSF fees starting in May and reduce overdraft fees to $10.
A new study sheds light on the staggering mortality from COVID-19. Globally, it's estimated that at least 5.2 million children have lost a parent, grandparent, or caregiver to the pandemic. Because the study ended in October of 2021, the authors believe their initial estimate is actually low.
Fewer Americans are collecting unemployment benefits. The Labor Department says its latest count has 1,476,000 workers collecting jobless aid. That's the lowest number in 52 years.
Coors Light is blessing its fans with a beer to fight off the devil. The company is giving away free cans of its Coors Almighty Light. The drink is said to be made with real blessed water to ward off demons and keep your soul safe. The new brew is a collaboration with the Foo Fighters' new movie, Studio 666. And that's today's Night at 9. And we have some news this morning. President Biden has picked Ketanji Brown Jackson as the Supreme Court nominee. That's what the sources tell NPR. And this is the first black woman as a Supreme Court nominee.
That's right. More coming up in our later newscast. We want to let you know that a choice had officially been made. Top stories we are following today. San Antonio police have made an arrest in a disturbing case of child abuse. A man accused of starving and beating his 4-year-old son.
The arrest came yesterday, 6 months after the death of the child. Now, police are crediting new cell phone video for leading to the arrest of 28-year-old Brandon Civetta. The affidavit says his 4-year-old son Benjamin was unresponsive when he was brought to a hospital back in August. Medical staff called police after discovering bruises on the child's body. The affidavit states initially Civetta told police that his son had caused his own injuries. However, police say during that investigation, they examined a relative's cell phone, which showed the 4-year-old being abused.
Police say the video showed the child begging for food and water and being forced to drink hand sanitizer. They also say they searched the family's home, discovered the refrigerator and cabinets were kept locked, and that Benjamin slept in a locked room on a urine-stained mattress on the floor. The medical examiner determined that he died of starvation.
The affidavit also suggests there may be a second suspect in the case. So far, there's no word on whether that person will be arrested.
We've learned the name of a man found dead near the Pearl Tuesday night.
He was 22-year-old Manuel Rice. Police say they received a call for a person with a gunshot wound in a car near Pearl Parkway and Broadway around 8:30 on Tuesday night. 3 other people inside the car told officers they were trying to take Rice to the hospital.
Passengers also told police Rice was shot on the city's east side, but could not give an exact location. At last check, no arrests have been made, and the investigation is ongoing.
In your morning headlines, there's growing concern this morning over Russian cyber attacks and how it could affect the several countries, including the U.S.
And it's gold and platinum tickets this year for some of the top singers across the country as American Idol gets ready to kick off its new season. RJ Marquez joins us here with more on that story and others. RJ, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, interesting twist here to spice up American Idol a little bit. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But of course, guys, all eyes on Russia this morning. We went over some of the latest developments earlier this morning, and now security officials and experts here are on high alert for possible Russian cyber attacks, not just in Europe, but right here at home in the U.S. Former Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert points to last summer when hackers believed to be affiliated with Russia shut down the Colonial gas pipeline running from Houston to New York. Those hackers hit the company's billing system, not the industrial controls. And the Senate Intelligence Committee is warning that Russia has not yet unleashed its full cyber capabilities. They say American companies and the government need to take action now to secure our networks.
Most businesses in this country are very vulnerable despite all of the good work being done by the federal government. The federal government's not protecting directly their networks.
If the Russians launch a more massive cyber attack and, for example, try to shut down all the power in Ukraine, you can't control once you unleash cyber weapons, malware, by geographic locations. That kind of incursion could move us into what could be potentially viewed as a Article 5 attack against Poland. That, by definition, means if you attack one NATO nation, you attack all of them.
Okay, so right now, U.S. officials are saying any cyber warfare from Russia would amount to an attack, but a decision on how to move forward would be done with the NATO alliance. ABC's Mary Bruce has a closer look at how the U.S. is responding to the full situation in Ukraine.
This morning, protests against Russia's invasion of Ukraine from Poland to Germany, London, and New York. Stand with Ukraine! As the U.S. and key allies strike back with severe sanctions, President Biden promising Vladimir Putin will pay a price for attacking Ukraine.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
The West preventing Russia from importing key technology, targeting members of Russia's elite, and what may be the most punishing, sanctioning 4 major Russian banks, freezing trillions of dollars of Russian assets. But as Russian forces move further into Ukraine, Biden cautioning it will take time for these sanctions to be felt.
This is going to take time. He's going to test the resolve of the West to see if we stay together, and we will. We will, and it will impose significant costs on him.
Biden, though, choosing not to sanction Putin directly, yet saying that option is still on the table. And as fears grow, Putin could push beyond Ukraine. Biden also ordering another 7,000 U.S. troops to support NATO forces in Eastern Europe.
He has much larger ambitions in Ukraine. He wants to, in fact, reestablish the former Soviet Union. That's what this is about.
And that was ABC's Mary Bruce reporting there. So what's next on the schedule? President Biden, we said this earlier, meeting with NATO leaders today in what the White House is describing as an extraordinary virtual summit. It's likely that plans will be discussed to send NATO forces to defend Ukraine's capital. Okay, guys, switching gears to some big entertainment news this morning. Get ready to hand out some Hollywood golden tickets and make dreams come true as American Idol returns for its 20th season. Yes, the big 2-0 for the original music talent search show. The new season of American Idol starts this weekend as judges Katy Perry, seen right there, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan and host Ryan Seacrest return this Sunday night right here on KSAT 12. So thousands of Idol hopefuls auditioning over the past few months, hoping for that ticket to Hollywood. But there's a new twist this season. The top talent from 3 audition cities, those being Austin, Nashville, and Los Angeles, are each earning a platinum ticket to Hollywood. Here's a little bit of how that all works.
What we decided was kind of the shining star of that audition. We gave them a platinum ticket, and when they got to Hollywood, they got to sit back one of the rounds and strategize, and it was a really neat kind of plot twist this season because it made us really concentrate on who we thought.
It's the 20th season, and usually that means platinum in a marriage. It's definitely platinum talent.
All right, should be exciting. And of course, the fan vote is still a big part of this show. Fans will be able to vote during the live shows later in the season. Just keep in mind, you have to be over 13 years old to vote online. And guys, I've been asking people in the newsroom, who was the very first American Idol? I had to look this up. Apparently, a lot of people know this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just completely slipped my mind.
Who was the first
The very
Idol?
first American
Kelly.
Idol winner.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, I thought it was Carrie Underwood.
No, she
Soon thereafter.
She was later, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that it was knowledge that not very many people knew about, but apparently, yeah, a lot of people here. Yeah,
well, that's one way to find out, RJ. Thank you very much.
Around.
9:13, about 34 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
A wonderful story of survival for an orphan out of Ukraine, how local families saved his life while also being forced to save their own.
A new directive from Governor Abbott not being taken lightly for families with transgender children. Why the governor and attorney general use the words child abuse when describing transgender health care and how Bexar County officials are responding.
But first, we're going to take you live to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, where David Sears has a few special guests for us.
Just about 9:18, and it's already here. Last weekend of the Stock Show and Rodeo.
Now, and it's going to be cold out there, at least for tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be. You'll want your jacket with you. We can't seem to shake this cold weather. We'll get there on Sunday. The sun will come out. We'll see those temperatures warm up. But what a month it has been. We look back at the month of February. You look at the graph there, and you can see temperatures kind of all over the place. Now, this includes highs and lows, but that yellow line, the average temperature there, and there was a lot of ups and downs with our cold fronts. We were as cold as 21 at the beginning of the month and as warm as 85 just a few days ago before that big cold front came in. So the month of February has brought us just about everything. And as we go outside for you, we've got cloudy skies, 34 degrees at the airport, 39 Stinson, 36 at Kelly, and you're checking in at 34 at Randolph. Still a pretty good northerly wind, so it's going to feel chilly out there with the wind chills, probably staying in the 30s most of today. Still below freezing in Kerrville and Comfort, Bandera, Bernie Stage right at freezing, Bulverde at 30, again 39 Stinson, 36 in Devine. You're at 40 in Katua, and 28 up there in Fredericksburg, one of the cool spots this morning. Wind chill values, as I mentioned, in the 20s. These may get a little bit better this afternoon, but not much. So it feels like 24 here in town. Feels like 19 in Fredericksburg. The air is a little bit drier today. We saw some drier air shoving here. That's kind of helping for some of the stuff you're seeing on radar not to reach the ground. So I think most of the precipitation we see today is going to be very light, maybe just a few sprinkles. And we can see some returns here, and this is probably hitting the ground there around Gonzales. But for the most of us today, it'll just be cloudy, a few sprinkles here and there. Now, as we get into tonight and tomorrow, things do change a little bit. I want to show you the big picture, and it gives you a good idea of what's going on here. There is the front right there. It is sitting out in the Gulf of Mexico, still slowly pushing south. And we've still got that overrunning going on, so that's keeping the clouds in place. Now, clouds did try to clear a little bit last night, but they're moving right back to the north again. So we are stuck underneath cloud cover for a couple of more days. And you can see up above, we got those winds coming out of the southwest, which is that overrunning pattern. Temperatures, clear skies up in Dallas. It's 26 degrees there. Still a mess. They still have ice on some of the bridges and overpasses there, which has been a problem the last couple days. 21 Wichita Falls, 22 Abilene, 17 in Amarillo. Underneath the clouds, it is a little bit warmer down here across parts of South Texas. And as we look at the forecast temperatures, we'll be up around, I think, 40 this afternoon. We'll go 39 here in town. Out west, it'll be a little bit warmer, but Pleasanton 36, 36 in Kennedy, 38 Cuero. Just another cool, almost cold day. And then tomorrow morning back into the mid-30s, and then tomorrow afternoon, not much of a rise. We'll go with 41 on your Saturday. And as I mentioned, there is that chance for rain as we get into your Saturday. Just a few sprinkles here and there, but notice the overall coverage picks up a little bit as we get into tomorrow. And yes, this does show a little bit of late freezing rain in the whole country tomorrow morning, possible. But just like the last go around here, I think the effects will be minimal. Not a real big deal here. And then it's all liquid as we get into the afternoon. More showers, maybe getting a little bit heavier, especially east of San Antonio. And then Saturday night, rain starts to taper off. Here comes the clearing line. Right now, we're scheduling it for midday Sunday. And by Sunday afternoon, the sun pops out and we get some warmer temperatures. So 40% chance of light showers tomorrow, 41, 57 on Sunday with clearing skies. 67 on Monday, 70 on Tuesday. We have, though, put in some rain chances by the middle part of next week. Right now, a 30% chance of rain on Wednesday. And, yeah, the rain chances are great, but we need some good rain to head our way. We'll see how that pans out on Wednesday, guys.
All right, hopefully. Thank you, Justin. And the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo is winding down, but that doesn't mean the fun's over.
David Sears is live at the AT&T Center with Miss Rodeo Texas and a couple of Longhorns. David, good morning.
It's become a tradition now. We come out and enjoy the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and you end your stay here sitting on a couple of Longhorns. These are the corporate Longhorns. Check out these horns. Those things are like a 6-foot spread. That's how big these dudes are. This is Casino, and this is Blackjack, and this is Miss Rodeo Texas. She said, "Hey, if we're going to have a tradition, I might as well be part of it." So, welcome back, Bobby. How you doing? How's your whole run through the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo been this week?
It's been a whirlwind. It's been so busy, but the people here are truly first class. All of the volunteers, everyone that helps this production, and I'm truly going to miss the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and I know that it will always hold a special place in my heart.
Of course, last year wasn't all that great because of the storm and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So what was it like to actually be in that arena performing on the horse when you kind of led the winners of each event around? What was it like to be in there with a full crowd, live people?
It was electric. We were all excited to be back, especially in the AT&T Center, to come and celebrate rodeo and celebrate our Western heritage. So it was so exciting, and that's truly something I'm going to hold dear as well.
I think you sat on a Longhorn like a few days ago?
I did. It was my very first time, and this is my only second time.
So what's it like to be on the pride of Texas right there?
It feels pretty Texas. I feel like it doesn't get much more Texas than this.
Have you ever done anything like this before? You ride horses all the time.
I know, I do, but no, I haven't rode a Longhorn before except the last time I was here at Wildlife Texas.
Where do you go from here? What's next for you?
Rodeo Houston in a few days, and I'm soaking up every last minute here in San Antonio.
And your reign lasts how long now?
I guess 4 months. Yeah, it's crazy. This year has just flown by. I'll crown another Miss Rodeo Texas in June.
And Steph and Mark, just so you'll know, she's got red and black on today, and that should give you an indication of where she is hopefully headed here in the next, a few months, maybe the next year. Yes, she's going to go to Texas Tech University.
Yes.
So look at that. So we're two proud Red Raiders sitting right here on Casino and Blackjack. Look at these dudes. This is interesting. I guess it doesn't get really more Texas than this.
You want to know what would make it better?
What?
Guns up.
There you go. Beautiful. How about that for you, huh?
David, did you hear what Steph said?
No. Say again?
You are sitting on Longhorns, though.
Well, yeah, but they're black Longhorns.
You got them. All right. I'm going to call 1-1 here.
There's one over there that I refuse to sit on. See the dude over there? He looks more like Bevo. That's why he's staying over there.
Okay. He's not Red Raider worthy.
We couldn't do that one. Sorry, Steph. We couldn't do that. No,
nobody's
you can sit on a lawn. It doesn't matter where you go to school.
Right.
Say again?
You're good. You're good. All right.
No, I was going to say, it doesn't matter where you go to school or what this is pure Texan right here.
Yes.
You can't beat Miss Rodeo Texas and sitting on Longhorns. It doesn't get any more Texan than this.
No disputing that. All right, David Sears live out the AT&T Center.
We want to thank the handlers because they got control over these dudes.
Yes, sir,
like these guys are going anywhere fast. How much these guys weigh?
About 2,400 pounds.
2,400 pounds. There you go.
Wow. Be careful.
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
I know. That's pretty fitting for the large official state animal of Texas.
There you go. Big animals, big state, big time at San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
I know.
All right. Well, thanks. I know it's a little chilly out here.
Oh, hey.
Thanks for
I'm a
being here,
North
Bobby.
Texan. I'm used to it.
There you go. Pure Texan. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you,
And appreciate
David.
you coming here. This is awesome. You
Yes,
did a great
sir.
job this year.
I know. It's a perfect way to wrap it up.
Great
It was
representation of Texas. And
fun. Well, thank you.
all right, back to you guys.
Thank you.
Adios,
fun.
David Sears. 925, about 35 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, we're going to hear from an expert on outer space in today's Kids Want to Know segment. Hi, welcome back. It's 9:29, and as a kid, many of us looked up at the sky and wondered what's out there.
In this week's edition of Kids Want to Know, elementary students interviewed Eric Von Anken, an anchor and space reporter for WKMG in Florida. That's our sister station in Orlando, near the Space Coast.
Get into space.
If you had the chance to report in space, would you and why?
I would 100% go to space. All of these rocket companies, these rocket building companies, their idea is to eventually take tourists, visitors to space. Some are doing it already. And the price of a ride to space is going to come down and more people are going to go to space. And when that happens, I'm going to be on one of those rockets. I think it would be the ride of a lifetime. Flying in an F-16 with the Air Force Thunderbirds was incredible, but actually riding to space and being able to look out the window and see the Earth in front of us, see how round it is really, that would be amazing.
Now, student-led, kid-certified learning. Yay!
Yay! You can watch the full interview on KSAT.com right now. Just head to the kids section.
Right now, it is 9:30, about 35 degrees.
And they made it out just in the nick of time. A local couple shares their story of being in Ukraine, trying to adopt an orphan when things took a dangerous turn.
But first, a new directive from Governor Abbott stirring up emotions in parents of transgender children. Why some say the governor's words are dangerous and how Bexar County officials are responding.
I was disgusted and distraught because when you first read those opinion statements, it seems like he's telling CPS to start knocking on doors. And there's a sense of panic. My other fear is that this is going to fire up the crazies, and they're going to try to find out where she goes to school, find out where we live, threaten us, try to hurt her.
Parents of some transgender children in Texas speaking out after Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services to investigate gender-affirming procedures for those under the age of 18.
The Texas Attorney General released an opinion calling the procedures child abuse. And for a closer look at how the Bexar County District Attorney is responding, we bring in KSAT digital journalist Ferris Sabalia. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Hi, Ferris. First off, what's Governor Abbott seeking through his recent letter to the Department of Family and Protective Services?
Yeah, Mark, it was earlier this week that Governor Abbott wrote this letter to the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services, telling them that after looking at Ken Paxton's ruling, Ken Paxton issued an opinion that decided that any gender-affirming treatments, and I mean, we're not just talking gender reassignment surgeries, but also any of those like hormone treatments, any of the more medically accepted treatments that many doctors give out today, would constitute child abuse if it's given to children. And so Abbott used that ruling from Paxton to send to the Texas Department of Family or Public Family Services and let them know that they should be investigating any of these instances as child abuse, which has led to really a lot of consternation among a lot of DAs in Texas and a lot of parents and families here in Texas as well.
And Ferris, here locally, how did Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez react to that request?
Yeah, Stephanie, Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez actually joined 4 other Democratic DAs in a letter to Governor Abbott. Now, he joined the district attorneys of Dallas County, Nueces, Fort Bend, and Travis to let the governor know that they are not planning to enforce these things. Basically, they're saying that this isn't based on law, that that Paxton's ruling, is not binding, not legally binding, and that they are just going to continue to investigate the cases they think that, that the law dictates that they need to investigate. But they've really looked at this move from Abbott and Paxton as an extrajudicial move, not based in law, and many of them are planning not to follow. Yeah, Mark, that's the thing. The impact of these rulings from Abbott and Paxton, what's really interesting is they're not legally binding. There's not a lot of enforcement mechanism to them. So it's unclear how it's really going to affect things on the ground. I think